Hey, it's Karina Reichman, and you are listening to Comes a Time with Oteil Burbridge and Mike Fenoya. If you're digging the podcast, do these guys a favor and review and subscribe. It means a lot. Be sure to follow the pod on social media, YouTube, and if you're joining for bonus episodes and exclusive content, go to patreon.com/comesatimepod and get on the bus. And now, here's Mike and Oteil.
What's up, folks?
Hey, what's that you got there, Oteil?
It's the new Comes the Time stickers
Hey,
that we passed out all over Mexico.
is that one of those stickers that if you flip it over, there's a QR code on the back and you could scan it and get to all of our episodes? Holy cow, it is!
Ta-da!
I've heard of those. Beautiful.
Nice.
Wow, how gorgeous. Hey, everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Comes a Time podcast. If you are joining us for the second or more time, welcome back to Comes a Time podcast. That is Oteil Burbridge.
And that is Mike Fenoya.
And we are freshly back in our homes, laundry folded, suitcase put away for the weekend from dead ahead down in Cancun, Mexico.
Man.
And what a time it was. Before we get into it, everybody, if you're enjoying the podcast, please like and share and subscribe and rate and review. Go to our YouTube and subscribe. It goes a long way. It means a lot. And we have a lot of great content in all those places for you. If you're into bonus content, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/comesatimepod, where you can find bonus episodes each week. We have merch. We have all other types of things. You have Oteil's Instagram and my Instagram, at Oteil Burbridge, at Mike Fenoya. And we have our respective dates on our respective websites. So for you newcomers, I'm expecting a few from the festival. So you're here, and thank you. And that's how you could support us.
You know what? I want to do on the road, we used to always eat at Waffle House late night.
Yeah.
I like breakfast, and I would want breakfast late night. You know, the Waffle House.
Nothing better, dude.
And they're like, honey, how you want that? Scattered, smothered, covered, chunk top, diced, tarred, and feathered.
That's great.
That's what I want to do for like, share, subscribe, rate, review.
Review,
let's add like 5 more, you know.
Flip, script, flavel, dibble.
Which reminds me.
Oh,
what?
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You first.
I was going to say, what was your go-to late night breakfast order?
Oh, it's always just, for me, breakfast is the same. I don't need a menu. I need to know if you have grits or not.
Okay.
Get grits at Waffle House.
Okay.
And if I was smart, I'd bring my own garlic powder, but it would just be scrambled eggs, white toast, because if I'm going to eat shitty, I'm going to eat all the way shitty. Just give me the Wonder Bread toast. And and now I'd rather do like turkey bacon or turkey sausage or something like that, chicken sausage, but back then it was just bacon, grits,
Yeah.
That was my jam. Still is. Really. Yeah. Still is.
All right. Interesting.
I may have like a single pancake afterwards to get a little sweet,
a little. Yeah. I always do, like, if I'm really either sopping up the booze late night or we have a drive ahead of us. Yeah. I do a French toast. I like a French toast on the side.
But if we're going to if I'm going to do a pancake, see, Waffle House was more for after the gig. Cracker Barrel was for in the morning.
Before you get on the road. Yes.
Because their pancakes, nobody can touch them. I'm sorry, International House of Pancakes. I'm sorry, Denny's. I'm sorry. Yeah. And a lot of people that make them fresh. I don't know what that recipe is. And the one in Evansville, Indiana, and we tried them all. We had the map.
Yeah.
of all of them. That one had the best pancakes. I think it was pretty much unanimous on
Yeah.
the bus.
I'll tell you what, man. I like Cracker Barrel, and I like walking around the little store after I eat just to see what kind of fun, like, lollipop stick, root beer flavored lolly stick I can eat. And you know what else I really love about Cracker Barrel is the peg game that they had on the table. Do you
Oh
remember the
man,
peg
we
game?
used to wear that thing out, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
My
Oh,
favorite was the pictures. I used to call them the happy campers. This was before good dentistry. So nobody was showing their teeth. Nobody smiling. They're all like, and I think they had to sit still for the picture to like be in focus.
yeah.
So they're just all
Yeah.
like, and you never see anyone black. Like just in the last 20, I was like, a black person, holy shit. It was like, it was crazy, man. I used
Yeah.
to love that. I was like, happy campers.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to always go I tend to always go 2 eggs over easy with rye toast,
Oh, I love rye toast.
well done home fries and bacon. And I'll tell you what though,
Well done
I'm
bacon too.
well done bacon. Yeah, I don't like that slimy,
The
greasy.
globules. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I'll pull that fat right off and throw
Me
it at
too.
the window. Yeah.
I'll sit there and just cut people. I see people staring at me. I'm like, that's right.
I've
I
said to
got
people
the
that
flavor
stare,
from it.
I go, "Do you want this?" Because they're
You
just
can
looking.
have it.
Do you remember those slimy, sticky hands that was like a thing of like it was almost like slime, and it had a hand, and you could throw it against the window, and it would stick. That's what that fat reminds me of, and I'm like, no, thank you. But
It reminds me of Spam. Remember Spam?
yeah,
We used
yes,
to
I remember
actually
Spam.
eat that.
I know, I know. It's just, I know. Did you like used to cook it, or would you just eat it?
I don't, fortunately, I think I got grossed out by it really quick, and I was like, but remember Devil's Food?
Yes.
Boy, was that aptly named.
That's like
It's
that
just
snack in hell is devil's
salt.
food.
Yeah, it's just salt. It's more
Salted
salt.
meat.
Mystery meat.
Did I tell you about the experience my friend had on acid with ham? Did I ever tell you about this?
Please, dude. I can't eat meat. I was
No.
like, this is morally wrong.
We were in college, and he was someone who I'm always in great shape. One of my best buddies, always in great shape, and he would fast before taking psychedelics. It was just his thing. He didn't want to go
Wow.
into it on like a full stomach. He just wanted to like, you know, and we
Empty stomach it.
empty
Okay.
stomach it, right? So,
What way to-
but you know what fasting was for us? Like he would drink beers, but no, but and no pizza essentially.
Not
But-
eating Taco Bell. That
yeah,
was
well, that was for after if the diner was closed. But our buddy put one of those canned hams,
Oh,
opened it and put it next to him and like flicked it, and it wiggled, right? So he was like watching the wiggle of the ham, and it literally, Oteil, it turned him off of ham. He never ate pork
he never
to
ate.
this day. It's been like 30 something years. He's not eaten pork.
He was
And it just
correct.
did it. It did it.
It did it. He
I'm
was
like,
like,
Yeah. He
I
literally
see the-
watched he just watched pig meat just gelatinously like wave in his psychedelic wind, and he's just like, no, thank you. I don't blame him.
I just have to do a little bit every once in a while, not of the gelatinous anything, because I'm not down with gelatinous.
No.
But I have to do, like every once in a while, I have to have a McDonald's fish sandwich or something in fried, just so that I know if the apocalypse hits or whatever, like my body I
Yeah.
won't be totally screwed.
That's funny.
My
You're
body
like-
can process
Just slowly, you just keep a teeny tiny bit
just
of commercial food poison, pink slime in your in your system. So when
I
we
still
have to
won't
drink
do the Subway though. Once I found out that the bread was yoga mats, I was like, we're done.
Dude, I think I was eating a Subway sandwich when I found out that it was made of yoga mats, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I used to eat Subway daily, dude. Like
it wasn't daily, but it was on the list of approved list.
in college, dude, they had literally like 2-for-1 days. Like you would just go get 2-foot-long
2
subs,
for one
pound
yoga
one, put
mats.
another one. Yeah, I'm eating 2 yoga mats, dude. my stomach's doing downward dog while I'm yeah, it was ridiculous. I
While you're
couldn't believe.
upright.
I know. Well, I can't believe that shit, man. I know. What are you gonna do? The only thing to eat is stuff you grow or stuff you, I guess,
Well,
kill.
you got to curate, like
Yeah,
you curate at the store, you curate your selection of restaurants, and then sometimes, when we travel, it's hard for me, man. Even just eating better food where in other countries where the food processing is not so as bad as here. Like I'm sure France is better, and
sure.
although they may all be going down but they got a rep to keep up. They can't have Monsanto
Mm-hmm.
messing up the grapes, and you know what I mean. Like they're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that upsets my stomach. Like real food, my stomach's like, whoa, this is real food. Ah, like
Yeah.
like
What's this?
it's actual vegetable matter,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's okay. It's good. One day I'm
Yeah.
going to curate my way like right off of all that stuff, hopefully, but
I'll tell you, and
process.
I think I sent you a link to this guy that I've been listening to and loving, Gary
Yeah.
Brecka, Dr. Gary
Yes.
Brecka.
I just got the kit too.
Oh,
From
you
Nigel.
did?
It's
Fantastic.
right
Yeah.
here.
All
I
right.
just got it.
The methylation kit. So, you know what? I went on a diet once with my friend. She was a yoga instructor and a certified nutritionist, and we did this thing called the standard process. And it was like a 21-day raw food diet. And essentially what you did was you learned to shop in the perimeter of the store. You go on
Yes.
the
Yeah.
outside, not the aisles. So
Yep.
literally nothing in a box, nothing
Yeah.
processed, no caffeine, no sugar, no, I mean, like olive oil and lemon and Himalayan salt and cracked
Yep.
pepper,
That's
bok
kind of we're
choy.
on that tip. We're
Yeah,
on that
man.
tip here.
And I'll tell you what, 3, 4 days of headaches, uh,
Yeah.
crummy sleep, uh, self-imposed, I'm starving, I'm gonna die. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like refreshed. I feel
Yeah.
like I actually slept, and your skin clears up.
Yeah.
And
The hair. My hair
well,
would get shiny.
yeah, thank
Ogres
you.
don't have hair.
My head skin, Oteil, was shining. My underhairage. And it was man, I'll tell you, by the end of it, I felt like $1,000,000. I felt so good. I think I lost like in 21 days, I think I dropped like maybe 14 pounds or something like that.
Wow.
I
That's a
mean,
lot.
like, and not to be, like very regular, easy, natural, like
Yeah.
bowel movements and stuff.
Yeah, dude. That's how I gauge my health. We talked about that on a Patreon, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
You
when you
pooping,
get
things are
older,
good.
it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing good, or woo,
I
not
know.
doing good.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
100%.
like,
But
tighten
but
that up.
it was incredible. I ended that cleanse the Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, and we went to a place and I ate wings, dude, and I had one buffalo wing, and just to taste like a fried substance
An
after 21
animal.
days of
Yeah.
like bok choy and like, you know, bone broth and whatever else, like I ate one wing and I was like, uh-oh, I think I'm gonna go home. It was rough. It was a rough
You
comeback.
couldn't have that cheese dip that says, processed cheese food. It's not actual cheese or it's not actual food. It's
Dude, that's hilarious you say that because when we talked about
laboratory
spam,
creation.
sometime I remember one time on Fish Tour, we were eating Lunchables and drinking Foster's cans because it was like
Oh,
that was
Lunchables
like
and Foster.
Lunchables are gross, but we were looking through what to eat. And there was a can of Vienna sausages or something like that. I would
Mm.
never eat that. But you know what it said? Potted meat food product. So it was
Yes,
like separated meat product. And I'm like, what on earth does that mean?
it means somebody was going across the floor with that scraper thing, and they
It's like
were just
scrapple, dude.
putting it all in there. That's what
Yep.
they're doing. Chicken feet and snake lips.
Yeah, yeah. Mechanically separated meat product, it said. And I'm like, oh my God, mechanically separated too. So But yeah, so this guy Gary Brecka, you know, and whatever you think of Dana White or
Which can't be much.
no, no, or
Not
Steve
from my
Harvey
end.
or Stephen A. Smith. Those are the three I heard. They were all men that were on handfuls of medication, sleep
Yeah.
apnea machines, overweight, and Gary Brecka is someone who was a mortality
Well,
expert
he did it for the insurance
for
companies.
insurance
So that's all
companies.
he did was like predict when people were going to die. And it was like depressing his heart
Yeah.
and soul.
And he's like, if I could do this for good. So he was able to like figure out, like, you know, because he was a human biologist. And now he's, you know, there's kits where, you know, most humans have like a couple of like genetic mutations, which I have one. I have MTHFR, which means I don't metabolize folic acid. And folic acid is a man-made thing that they spray on grains and stuff, right? So folate is real, folic acid is fake.
It's man-made.
And they put it on because they used to say that children didn't have enough folate, so they made folic acid to add to foods. So anything that's enriched means it has folic acid on it.
Enriched means you're fucked.
And most people can, you know, break down and you methylate folic acid into folate. I can't. So if I eat white bread or if I eat rice or crackers or anything that's in like made of grains and wheat and stuff, but it's like in box and it says enriched, all pasta, everything I love.
That's what's going to happen to me.
And that builds up in your system. And they say that leads to depression, anxiety, ADHD, blood clots, which I had one when I was 25, and they think that's why I had it. So I'm paying a lot more attention to that now. And, you know, it's harder and more expensive to be healthy. It's so
Yeah.
interesting, you know?
But it's so much harder and more expensive to be sick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
And more painful and more, you know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
I think ultimately much more expensive.
Yeah. Oh,
Much
100%.
more.
Yeah.
It's just
I,
how we prioritize.
I'd like to have him on one day to talk to us though about it
I'd
because I
love
think
to,
it's
man.
super interesting.
I
But
would love to. I'm
so
hoping it's going to work out for Nige.
how what a weekend.
I know.
Dead ahead, man. Wow.
How was it from the audience perspective? Because it was like, you know, I knew it was going to be so different from our end because when you just change one person, much less five, you know, then
Yeah.
it just, which is beautiful. And I'm like, yes, all the balls are coming in doing different things than they used to do. But like from the audience perspective, how was it?
I mean, well, everyone loved it. I mean, the lineup was unbeatable. It was just such a fantastic collaboration of people.
Yeah.
All the bands, start to finish. Um, when you say how did the crowd feel, do you mean about Dead, the main like Bobby and you know you guys, or the whole thing, or what do you mean?
Just actually the experience, like we were talking when you guys were flying in,
Yeah,
and you were like, boy, sure are a lot of old people on this plane. And then after you got there, you're like, man, this is so much better than the Fish concert because
it was the greatest scene.
because it's older people. You know, it's
Yeah.
like team wheelchair, hell yeah. You know?
Yeah, team epidural. So I went in with I have a herniated disc in my back, so everyone had get a epidural or get surgery. So I was kind of having conversation. People were showing me their scars, and I just want to say a huge shout out to Berkowitz, to Dan Berkowitz, who and everybody at like in that camp and that crew and Playa Luna Presents and the staff and the security and the folks that drove the golf carts and the folks that took care of
Yeah.
anything that we needed and the staff at Riviera, was it Riviera Maya? I can't remember the name of the, anyway,
Moon Palace.
Moon Palace. Everyone was so sweet and everyone was so great. And a massive shout out to all of the people the fans that, I had so many unbelievable conversations with so many great people. And if you're listening eventually to this, it was so fun. And just thank you to everybody it was the most welcoming, kind, unbelievably like perfect for experience of just like everyone had enough space. Everyone had
Yeah.
enough to eat. Everyone had enough to drink. Everyone stayed cool. The walk from A to B was not a country mile,
Yeah. Yeah.
there was room for people to sit if you wanted to sit. There was room to dance if you wanted to dance. You can go in the water if you wanted to go in the water.
I went in the water, me and Lamar, it was so great. They brought us these two big floaties. And I'm not really the American flag guy, so I was like super clashing with just one tie dye on the board shorts and another one on the top, just like. But Lamar went out there with me, and I said, after much magic, a
Oh God, yeah.
waterfall of magical blessings happening, and we're floating out because I had said for years, I would give anything to be able to go in the audience and be in the ocean and watch Dead and Co. If I could just clone myself to hear what the band sounds like, because I would see people in the ocean and be jealous.
Yeah.
So I finally got to do it with Lamar Williams Jr. And for those that don't know, the original bass player for the Allman Brothers was Barry Oakley. When he died, like 3 years later, I think, or 3 or 4, he was replaced by Lamar's dad, Lamar Williams Sr. JMO brought him in. So we're floating in the water. My dream is coming true. Don is up there. I'm in the. Eric, our video tech, got all the way in the water. Shout out to my bodyguard, JK, got all the way in the water.
The best.
Kept us from. Shout out to Chloe Weir, got all the way in the water. And I'm floating there with Lamar, and I said, man, you know that your dad and Greg Allman and Butch Trucks and all those guys, Red Dog Joe Dan, I said, they're seeing this right now. And he looks over at me and goes, today's my dad's birthday. And I was just like, what a coinky dink.
What a coinky dink. Oh yeah, coincidences.
If you believe in that shit.
Yep.
Like after all the stuff that had been happening, just a dominoes a mile long flying down a magic impossibility, synchronicities, and he goes,
oh yeah, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way.
Dad's birthday.
I can't believe. I mean, I can't even say I can't believe it. It's just, yep. Add another one to the list.
Add another one to the list, dude.
You had the chance to. You and I watched a little bit of Wolf Bros together from the crowd.
Long weather report, sweet long terrapin. Hallelujah.
And we had so much space and everyone respected you know what I mean? Like
I had the triangle of bodyguards. It was you and Eric and Arthur. I had two giants and an ogre, and I was in the center of this triangle. Nobody was. They would come up and hand me a stare like sticker.
And I'm like, let me see it. Let me see it.
It was great. I can never do that.
No. If anywhere there,
so
right?
Fun.
Yeah.
So fun. Thank you for that gift.
Oh, dude, please. I was stoked to watch music with you because I thought about it. We've never watched music together. We've talked during. I've sat with you until you're walking on stage, and then I go watch or whatever. But no, we've never had the chance to chill and listen to the Grateful Dead together. I mean, it's a special, special, special weekend, man. Really,
with Megan and Arthur and Eric.
Yeah,
like all my friends,
and Tracy and David
Tracy Taylor, and David Bader. Hey, man, just like so many. I just want to shout them all out. It was so fun, man.
Oh, dude, it was just and so for those of you that don't know the place, it's essentially like a 2-mile long beach, and the stage is set up to kind of like if you're looking at the hotel, like to the left, and most of the hotel rooms in the first hotel are reserved or taken by the heads. And you could tell immediately because tapestries started going up in suite windows. It looked like San Francisco in like 72, I think. And Everybody just was, getting their bearings, figuring the place out. It was spaced out nice. The sound was
Man,
impeccable.
dude, every phone video, like no matter who took it, just standing there like this. Man, for my set, shout out to Jake the Snake Cacciatore, man. Wow. My bass was like stuff that I was sure was getting lost, and the loudest part of the guitar jam in Every Hungry Woman.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. And I'm trying to hit it hard. It was just like, wow.
It
I was
was
like, you
crispy,
can hear
dude.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, you can hear every friggin' thing I was putting. I was like, wow. I texted him. I was like, dude, this, and I know Derek Featherstone with all the
Yeah.
headset. I know it was.
Everything
it was.
sounded so good. Everything was mixed so nicely. And, you know, um, the first night headline. Well, so so like the guys from Goose Orabolo, they
Yeah,
played
that
first.
sounded so good.
So nice. And also, what a great pick to start the weekend off. A
Yeah,
nice like upbeat acoustic
yeah,
set.
I
Sturgill
loved it.
sat in, Bobby sat in, like it was just it was excellent, excellent set. And I was really, really stoked to see the Wolf Bros. And I'm a fan of Cowboy Bob. I love Cowboy Bob. And they delivered, man. It was just
Yeah,
beautiful. And you could tell he was loose and everything was
yeah,
off on a nice, like, kick. And we got the chance that night, you and I, to just sit and catch up and bullshit, not
yeah.
to our computer screens, with our feet in the
Just
sand and the breeze blowing and the ocean crashing, and just chatted, man. Like just a good 2 hour just session,
bang.
you know? And then we're like, let's go watch some music. And then we went over and we set up camp and got down.
It's great, man. I wish your back had been feeling a little better because I love the ogre dance. The ogre dance that's my shit, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my spirit animals.
Oh yeah.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
Because you go for it.
Yeah. Get down.
It's like,
Stomp your feet.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Got
You
to
can
do it.
stay still, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
It was all
Uh,
good. It was good. It was good. The music healed everything. It was, I'll tell you. And for all of you who are listening that maybe have back pains or deal with some stuff, I have like a lower herniated disc, and I didn't know if I was going to make it to dead ahead.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I had one doctor tell me you immediately need surgery. I had another doctor go, "You are so far from surgery," and I'm like, "Great." Last stop, anxiety. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Your baby's gonna die. Your baby's definitely gonna live.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I give you 6 months. I give you 60 years. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just settle here in the middle and panic. So I decided to go, and I knew it was going to be painful, but again, it was
Yeah,
set up excellently for all, it accommodated everyone, really. I'm not somebody, I was definitely not in the worst position. You know what I mean? Like there were
yeah,
people way worse
yeah,
off physically. So no, I'm not
yeah.
complaining, but it is what it is. And then your set, um, man, let's talk about it. We all got together during the day, for rehearsal. You were kind enough to invite myself, Eric, um,
You can get that comes a
hung out with
time
Melvin's
crew in there.
wife, the Comes a Time team. There's an arena on campus there, like an indoor space. And that's where you guys did rehearsal. Is that where you've done rehearsals all along before, like other years?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall rehearsing indoors. Um, I thought we were doing them on stage. Um,
Mm,
but my memory, my memory's not the greatest either.
yeah. It
Like
was
I
a
said,
cool
I had to
room.
choose between cannabis and my memory, and you know,
I think.
as long as I can remember the songs. You know?
Mm. It was really neat to watch though, and I got a chance to hang and watch with Melvin's amazing, lovely wife. And God, what a cool, I mean, she's just the minute you guys start playing, she's just bopping around in her seat and having such a good time, and her foot's going, and while she's reading the paper and reading magazines and shit. And I'm just like, man, 50 years with Melvin. Yeah, you got that, that groove. And we just started talking, and she was telling me all these great things about Jerry Garcia and their hang. Like, this is just the magical shit that was going on, like that weekend I mean, I walk away from that like, who gets to have this conversation, Like, what an
Yeah,
amazing life. And she was so sweet. And she
she
said
is the
Jerry's Christmas
sweetest.
parties were always the best, which I thought about that quite a bit, that he was kind of
Annabelle
like
said,
Santa Claus.
oh God, talk about the best Santa Claus. That's who he is. I've been trying to figure out, like, what is Jerry? You know,
He's Santa.
he's Santa, man. He is.
Yep.
He's fucking
Yeah.
Santa. It's great. Ah, I
And
love.
and he
We got
was
to figure
around.
out what Don was is.
Oh my God. Yeah. I told you he reminds me of a tree.
I got
Remember we
to.
were talking about that?
Yeah, I think you're close. I got to show you
He,
this
he
thing that
reminds me of
Tracy
Roots.
sent Tracy Taylor because it's
So
it's
cool hanging with her and
one of the
everybody that
guys
was.
from the Muppets. You see him? I'll send it to Eric.
Oh yeah.
Wait a
That's
minute,
great.
hold on. I gotta turn this on so you can see it.
Can you hold it closer to the camera?
Well, I think it blurs if I go closer,
Oh yeah.
but I'll send it to Eric and he can put it in the on the screen. And it's the guy that he has his hand on the thing where you blow stuff up. He would always blow everything up. He's like a terrorist. You couldn't even have that character now.
I know. Oh my God, right? For real. For real. Man. But so you guys went on and just blew the doors off. Let's talk about the lineup that you had. So I
I
mean,
love that because my whole professional wrestling thing. So I try to talk professional wrestling to Tom, like, it's about popping the crowd and all this stuff. And so there's this sign. It was the first sign. This dude, every time we're in the New York area, he has this cardboard that's just like pro wrestling. But they bring their sign, and it may be a really cheaply made. It's like he just ripped it off a box and wrote Tom something. It just says TMF, some TGY, which is something like Tom F. and Guarna is really kicks ass or something. It's like.
yeah.
And he brings it up. He's always has it when we're in the New York area. It was like, the dude's here in Mexico. He's like, yeah, I got the sign.
Was that the dude that had the Tom Guarna socks?
No, completely different. So I said, Tom, this is how it starts in wrestling when they bring the signs. Then he sends me this picture. He goes, zoom in on the feet. And there's some dude at the pool. So he had done this before he ever got there.
Yeah.
There's little Tom Guarna heads all over. It looks like polka dot socks, but each polka dot is Tom Guarna's head.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's over, bro.
And do you remember what I wrote you back? I go, I saw that guy by the pool walking around with a bottle of wine and a whole coconut. That dude was having a blast. It was the middle of the day, and I'm like, he hasn't slept since a day before he left, dude. And I'm like, what's on his socks? And then you sent me that, and I was like, oh man, he's got Tom Guarna socks. This is how it starts.
Tom was free, and Tom's wife came, Catherine. So, we're always talking aliens and really bad sci-fi movies and pro wrestling or whatever, like MMA. And she's like, oh my God, you guys are killing me, But she was there for it, and she caught
Yeah.
She's like, this is real. Like, this magic thing is real. I'm like, pretty
Oh,
magical,
yeah.
isn't it? This was just like so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris for flying you guys home private. 4 of my friends got miracled, complete free room.
That's wild.
VIP tickets. They just said you just got to get there by 2 different people.
Man, that group, yes, a big, massive thank you to Chris and his family and friends. And that was the thing that kept happening throughout the weekend, was just these, like, I was trying to explain it when I got home to, like, I guess I went alone, right? But I was never lonely. I kept meeting all
Yeah.
these different pockets of people, and there would be one person that was inextricably somehow linked to yet another person in a group that I had just hung with that was massive and close. And it was like I was being welcomed because I have those groups of friends, my
Yeah.
lifelong buddies from high school or my tour buddies and this and that. And I just happened this time to be, you were my buddy there,
Yeah.
someone's
You're
like, who's your crew? And
almost
I'm like,
solo.
Oteil, I think. So, but what was great was that like I just kept being kind of like passed from group to group, but in like a
Yeah.
great way. And I left with new friends and new family and
It's
plans
like
to do.
being passed around the Shire.
God, it was amazing. Yeah, man, it was really amazing. And it was like, I remember having too much to do at one point, and I was like, this is a good problem to have,
Yeah.
like,
Quality problem, right?
yeah,
Can we
yeah.
slow this shit down a
Like maybe I'll
little?
just put my phone off, like shut it off and just take a nap for a second. But yeah,
The blessings are just like coming out. You're like, all right, can we just
I just put
turn
the
the
do not
spigot off?
bless, the do
Yeah,
not
do
bless
not
setting.
bless. Seriously, folks, it was that much. Like it just
Beyond
everybody,
comprehension.
every friend of mine. If you got like if a friend of a friend got within like 4 feet, they got blessed. It's just like, oops, you got some on you.
Yeah, I'm sitting with my friend Brian, who I ran into, who I know from the comedy world, and he's sitting with and talking with someone who knows you and helped you a while back with something, and it's just like, oh my god, dude, like this. And I go, hey, look who I'm with, and you're like, they're the best, and I'm just like, Oteil says hi, and all this stuff, and it was just all so family. The dead, the fabric of the dead quilt or whatever, however you want to put it. I'm just thinking of this now or whatever. I'm not. What a thick, like tight, strong
Yeah,
fabric that is, man. It's
yeah,
hemp or
man.
something. It's
Tapestry, a
it,
hemp tapestry.
everyone was kind to everyone, man. There was one day where around the pool literally turned into like just a swapping of art and things and stickers and
Yeah,
bracelets and decks of cards and poker chips, and everyone brought their thing to give to other people. And
yeah.
like if you had something to give them, you gave it to them back, and it was just this like no one said, okay, here comes, now start the
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 giving.
swap meet.
Yeah,
But
it just is.
it just turned into it. And I'm like, I have a bag full of like phenomenally made like trinkets, and I'm just like, it was so fantastic, man. It was really just everyone was happy. And oh, even to the point, want to talk about weird magic. Looks like
That's what I
rain.
want to talk about.
Do you want to
Yeah,
talk about
dude.
looks like what happened during looks like rain?
And I didn't notice it until the crowd started, and then when
Oh,
the lights would go a certain way, I was like, "Oh, wow, it's raining hard right
so just to
now."
it started to kind of like I felt a drip and then a couple more, and Brian goes, it's raining. And then one of his friends looks at his phone and he's like, take a look at this radar. He's like, there's no rain. There was literally, we were looking at like the radar, and there's literally, Oteil, not a cloud, not a,
Hey, man,
meteoric anything. We're looking up and it's clear,
Alush, Alush,
and it is raining sideways.
sideways, dude,
It was raining sideways,
sideways.
right?
So
You
was it
remember?
was Poseidon just spraying the ocean up out of the ocean towards us? Because,
I think
like,
Jerry got a
seriously,
hold of the water gun up there.
hey, man, the crowd, and when the crowd goes, this has happened to me when I was at Grateful Dead 50, when Kreutzmann flew me and Jess out there,
Yep.
and we saw the rainbow, and we were like, the first time I saw the Dead, when Popper put us on the guest list,
Yeah.
and I remember it was that original laminate from Aquarium Rescue Unit's first album got us all the way in through like layer after layer of security, right?
Wow.
And I'm standing there and I'm not even really checking the band out. I'm just checking the whole thing out. I'm like, this is and it feels good. And Mickey starts drums in space and hits wham and we're outdoors in Vegas. It's 100,000 degrees.
Right.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Oppressive. Boom, thunder, lightning, rain, just I was like, okay, wait a minute. What? When he's done, goes away. I was like, really? Really? Now with the Colonel, I'm used to seeing. What was that? Did you see that thing?
I didn't do anything. This is so weird.
Your face is frozen and there's a big thumbs up next to it. That's great. Right at this perfect time. This stuff always happens on Comes a Time.
Oh my God.
That was the first time. Then Grateful Dead 50. Then Rainbows happened a number of times with Dead and Company while I'm in the band. Everybody's screaming and I don't know what's happening. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
There's a big, huge rainbow behind us. So that's happened like 3-4 times with me.
Jeez.
And then I think there was one where I think John put cold rain and snow in and it started hailing in Colorado. I was like, bad idea, or whatever. And then, but the Looks Like Rain, I was like, now come on. Like, come on. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
This is kind of a thing I found out about the Alush. They get used to the offerings, and if you don't leave them something, sometimes they get pissed. Just put out a piece of chocolate and go, guys, please, can I do this podcast? Here's some chocolate.
Yeah, well, I got another couple sips in my coffee, so they can have that at the moment. I don't have any. What'd you get me into?
Looks Like Rain.
Yeah. So the for those that are listening, that eventually when you hear these sets, with these guests that were singing and all of the different members that were playing, each song really like led to like a huge ending. Like Looks Like Rain kept going and it was just so nice. And the rain literally just started to let up at the end of the song. And then
shout out to Brittany Spencer, man. Holy crap.
MVP.
The way she harmonized, the way their voices fit together I never heard Looks Like Rain like that. I was coming out of my skin, dude.
Yeah.
With their harmonies together. People that were not there, you must hear it.
And she's jumping up and down at the end of the song going, this is so fun.
Woo! Man.
She
brought it, dude.
Yeah, she's such a wonderful person. And I mean, really, I got to hang with her a little bit and chat, and she's so sweet. And then the song ends and the rain ends, and it's like, okay, they cooled us off a little bit. So I think it was
another coinky-dink.
I think it was Jerry up there with a water gun and a fan. But anyway, all together, just really an unbelievable experience. And I think a couple takeaways I had were Melvin, Bobby, and Mickey were the only 3 musicians that played this weekend that actually played with Jerry, right?
Yeah.
But it was a full weekend of amazing Grateful Dead music. And it just shows Garcia band stuff. And I'm saying, like, this is just the sign, like, this thing is somehow only getting stronger. And it's and it's getting more youthful blood put in. Like, man, hearing Rick.
And I'll say I added some Allman Brothers band in there.
Oh, you did.
And man, it was strong, bro. It was strong.
Cut from the same cloth, those two,
Yeah, man.
And you're the bridge.
They're the east and west versions of each other.
Yeah. And you're the bridge. You're the bridge. And
now it's
Dwayne.
me. It's me, Jimmy, Warren, and Derek.
Yeah.
We're the only 4 to have played in both bands. The Allman Brothers and the Dead.
Pretty amazing.
Connected because they played together in the 70s at like RFK and stuff.
In Hartford, Connecticut too. Yeah.
Yeah, but we bridged that gap, second generation, man. It's trippy. That's karma is like that. It just is what it is. It's bigger than you individually, like what you think about it. But
well, and I
as
think
you get older, you could see it. You're like, woo.
I think that as long as, I mean, like, and this was 4 days of like Grateful Dead family on stage and off in the crowd,
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin hanging out, like
Dude, speaking of dragons,
Sturgill.
speaking of dragons,
I mean, Sturgill Simpson put such a much needed, perfectly placed country,
dude,
new country
Mama
spirit.
tried.
Oh my God. And shout out to Rick from
Dark Hollow.
Yep.
Oh, oh,
Everybody that paid
Rick,
such
man.
impeccable like homage to the
Oh,
songs, but played it with their own spirit.
dude,
And
Rick's guitar playing, bro.
I,
Rick's guitar playing. Wait a minute. We got to take a second and
yeah.
say Rick's MF and guitar playing. All right, now we can go on.
Well, I'll tell you, it was fun watching
Damn.
you two are on opposite sides of the stage, and I'm watching you connect. And it was just, I mean, he's
Just
a
bringing it.
badass guitar
Let me
player, man,
tell
and a
you, man.
phenomenal singer.
Yeah, and so is Sturgill.
They
And let me tell
everybody
you
was.
something, man. It ain't easy. I done watched jokers do it for 20 some years, try to get up there after Derek Trucks. It's hard.
Derek, Derek
It's
and
not forgiving.
Susan,
They
man.
just brought it, man. And to like come after that at all.
Margot Price did so amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, literally, just like you name it. Jason Crosby. I mean,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
your band was just so much fun. John Morgan Kimmock. I mean, Don.
Yeah.
It was just out of this world. It really
The
was just
strength. I
incredible.
love this. Shout out to the string section and the horn section with Wolf Brothers.
Oh, that show
Man.
was beautiful, dude.
Steel, shout out to Celeste, man. Uh Don was on electric. Bring it, brother.
Don Was
Yeah.
Don Was
That's a
had it.
different ball game right there, dude.
Yeah, and he had Suns Out, Guns Out, dude. He had his pipes out. I don't think I've ever seen him without a leather jacket. I was like, this is fantastic, dude.
I know
He
that
was killing
reminds me.
it.
I've got to get some hot summer festival wizard wear because that damn robe was for the indoors and air conditioning.
People were asking me, they're like, "Man,
That was
was he
brutal.
just sweating to death up there?" I'm like,
Dude,
"Probably." Yeah.
yes, dude. I was so sticky,
That
but
stage was hot. That stage was hot. It was like a good 30 degrees hotter on stage than it was off. Like you walk right back behind it and you got like an instant like breath of fresh air.
oh,
But man,
yeah,
look, I'll tell you, that was my first time at that venue. I know it wasn't the first time for you. I just have to say, like, genuinely, like, I loved every second of meeting new people but I knew them already kind of thing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like running into folks, running into people stopping us at various times just to say like they love the podcast. I mean, thank you guys for doing that because it really means a ton. We do this because we love it, but we hope that you guys love it. You know what I mean? So for you to stop, I was in the bathroom and a dude's like, bro, thank you for the podcast and tell Oteil thank you. And I'm like, of course. People backstage were, I forget who they were. It was kind of like an older couple. And she's like, honey, he's the guy that does the podcast with Oteil. And this dude got up and was like, yo, man, thank you. I listened to every episode. And it was cool. Like this podcast has become part of the Dead family fabric. I don't know, man.
I'm honored because
Me too.
when you name a podcast after such an incredible, meaningful Grateful Dead song, you kind of have a responsibility to like, I want to know at any time if Mickey drops in on any podcast it's just on YouTube and like just hits play in the middle, just wants to see what the hell we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Bob or Kreutzmann or Melvin, or
Yeah.
Donna Jean.
Yeah. Or Phil.
Yeah.
Anybody.
That they would
Parrish.
that they would be like to know that they're approving of it. That's very, very friggin' deep and very meaningful to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then I know that Jerry's probably approving it too. And so is Hunter, and so is Barlow.
And
You
so
know
is
what I mean?
Pig
I
and
met
Keith
Barlow, so I
and
know.
Brent and Vince. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're serious about this legacy, man. I didn't know much about Allman Brothers or Grateful Dead, practically nothing. But for some reason, I was chosen to carry this. And tell you, man, Steve Kimmock said some stuff to me in Iceland that really touched me. He goes, "Man, you're carrying two heavy legacies, man, and you're doing it right." And it meant so much to me, man.
And it's base too. It's the foundation, bro.
Yeah, I have to be the floor that everybody. That's why I say I realized I am the dragon. I thought I was the wizard. That's just my human form. I'm the dragon.
People,
I
yeah,
let
they
the
ride on your
guitar
back.
players get on my back, right? These
Hmm.
elves from Rivendell or the North Pole, as the case may be. Some of them are Santa's little helpers. Um, and they've, Jimmy's clearly Rivendell, Viking, Nordic,
Yep. Yep.
right? Heading, you know. I take them up higher than they're going to go on their own.
Yep.
That's my job.
Yep.
To lift them higher than they're going to get on their own.
Yep.
And that's when I realized I am the dragon. I was born the year of the dragon, and 2024 is the year of the dragon. You think that's a coincidence? Well, then you just can't see.
Yeah.
Comes a time when the blind man takes your hand and says, "Can't you see? Don't you see?
Yep.
Won't you see?" is really
Yep.
what we're talking about. So,
Yep.
people, it's real. The
Well,
magic is real. That's all I got to say. I'll shut up now. I got to go pick up my mama.
Well, and I'll say too, it's an unbelievable honor and gift that I'm, 17-year-old me would not believe that, you know, people are stopping me at a Grateful Dead festival in 2024 where I'm doing a podcast and performing stand-up comedy at this festival, with you, and people are stopping going, "Thank you." I can't even tell you how. And we had to talk about the difference between pride and humility
Yeah.
yesterday. And maybe that could be a whole episode one day, but like just
Yeah.
how I didn't feel pride. I just felt humbled that like the
Yeah.
things we've talked about are making these people who I get to stand here and watch the music with and laugh with and swim in the pool with and eat with. And they're all enjoying and getting things out of what we do, just like I, who had Jerry hanging on my wall and Pigpen hanging on my ceiling and Bobby, and it's like the soundtrack of my whole freaking life. And here I am with them and with you and with everybody that was there. And I genuinely, that's a weekend I'll never forget. And I'm so happy for the friends that
Me
I've
too.
made that I know I'll, hold on to forever. And it's special. And I've been doing this a long
Lifelong.
time. Lots of
Yeah.
festivals, lots of whatever. This one was different. This one was
Oh, it
special.
is. It's not stopping.
No, no.
It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
It's still going here at home.
Yep.
I hadn't even told y'all all the stuff that happened there.
We'll do another one.
With the
soon.
Alush, with the
Yeah.
Mayan elves. Shout
Yeah.
out to Diego Ruiz. Turns out he was the chef. Everything we ate was cooked by this guy that's an expert on the Alush. And if I do say so myself, I think he's Mr. Tumnus in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those Narnians. Look at him. Look at him. You guys will see it. We interviewed him for Comes a Time.
Nice.
Beautiful cat. And you know what he said? And I do have to go pick up my mom. He said, "Oteil, you have everybody talking about the Lelouch. This is good." And he wasn't just talking about the people that came for the concert. He meant the Mexicans that live there. He said the Lelouch are very happy about that.
Nice.
And I'm going to send you a picture. There's a ceiba. I said, there's a tree called the ceiba tree that is sacred to them, that they live in, basically. And in the place we're staying, there's a big ceiba tree. There's two of them, but one's called the ceiba garden, where they grow all their own vegetables and herbs. And so all the vegetables and herbs that we're eating are grown from that ceiba garden.
Wow.
And I took Nigel and Kavi up there, and Eric, I'm going to give you these pictures. And we put some candy down in the ceiba tree, and I took pictures of them with the offering, then backed up. Then we went to the other one and put one there. And when you look, if you get right up on the tree, it's like there's horns coming out of it. All these teeny little cones that were very sharp.
Wow.
Like the tree has horns.
No way.
Hundreds of them.
Like a dragon's tail?
Like a dragon's skin. Yeah, like a dragon's tail. Yeah. Yeah. You'll see the picture. I took it like I got right up close so you could see exactly.
Dragon's
Okay, we
tail.
got to go. Dude, you just got me.
Hey, give your mom a kiss for all of us, okay?
I will.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
All right. See you guys soon.